Welcome to today's MTD Daily. We're doing this every day, so make sure you're tuned in to hear from industry guests. And today is no different. We're joined by Tim Paddison from Hoffmann UK. Tim, welcome to the show. The last time I saw you was at the grand opening of your new facility in Birmingham, probably just under a year ago. Time seems to have flown.
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't that long ago, but it seems a long time ago. And as you said, the subject of discussion has shifted from Brexit to COVID-19. It shows how things change so quickly.
Yeah. Now, the timing of the move was obviously the 2 points that you've mentioned. Some might say, couldn't have been a more difficult time. But how are things for Hoffmann here in the UK and as a group?
Well, if we shift back just a few months to when we launched, I mean, since then it's been all systems go. We've really developed the delivery of our services into the UK, and this year started really well for us actually. But of course, we have the current situation that we're all trying to work with. And, I would be definitely telling lies if I said that hasn't, brought some pressure on overall business performance, as it has for everybody. And I think one of the really interesting things for me is clearly volumes have dropped, but almost the demand for service levels and availability has increased. Because when people need something or they need help, they need it now. So, they're challenges that we're trying to balance at the moment.
And if you had to best describe Hoffmann UK and what you supply to industry in a paragraph or so, for people that don't know, Tim, what would you say?
Well, I guess on first view, Hoffmann could be seen as another industrial equipment supplier. We have a broad range of products. We have all the distribution capability that you would expect from a leading European supplier of products to the manufacturing industry. However, our values really lie in working with our customers and clients and potential clients to find solutions, not just to sell product. The product really is, how we help after, but it's finding the right solution that helps them be more successful through driving productivity and simplifying procurement.
So you must have some pretty technical guys on your team in different areas to support such activities.
Yeah, absolutely. We employ people with experience, knowledge, and are qualified in the areas that we want them to work with our customers in, whether that be in tooling, in manufacturing, whether it be in design of workshop facilities, whether it be in protecting their workforce. We employ specialists and we employ qualified people in all those areas so that we can consult effectively.
It is interesting because in talking to your colleagues and people within MTD, when we look at Hoffmann UK, one of the comments that comes across is you're a world-leading supplier of anything and everything that you could ever want or desire in a machine shop, and executed and managed well. That's a good summary as well, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. We at the end of the day, we supply equipment to the industry, to manufacturing and engineering companies. However, the point I'd like to make is what differentiates us, what makes us different, is that we want to work in helping our customers be more successful through improving productivity and efficiency, not just by selling a Me Too product. But we need those products then to be able to, provide to those customers afterwards.
And has having that UK base in Birmingham helped in recent months for you? Has it changed the business?
Yeah, absolutely. Because the UK market is different maybe to mainland Europe in the way companies operate, in the culture, and it was very important to Hoffmann to have a UK base so that we could match our services to the demands and needs of UK customers, as opposed to taking a one-size-fits-all approach. So the services, the products are the same, but then we've adjusted and amended those so that they are more relevant to UK companies and we can deliver them more effectively.
I mean, I think what would be interesting for me is what's the breakdown, and how does it work with the guys that are on the ground visiting companies? Would you say look at a business and say, okay, this is an aerospace company, so I'm going to allocate, Mr. A to that one, or this business is 100 plus employees, so I'm going to allocate Mr. B to this one. How does it work?
So we have coverage of the majority of the UK. We particularly focus on, the main industrial areas, and we have what we call our area managers that have a geographic focus. And they obviously clearly would want to make sure we're working with customers that can use our services effectively. And, we are all in business, so there has to be something in it for both of us. But then we have a national team of more in-depth specialists that effectively will work with clients in specific areas where we both agree that that is a project that we want to work on. So we have direct contact externally and internally to support individual customers, then specialists that we bring in as required based on the needs of that client.
I think what's also important to stress at this point, Tim, is Tim's going to be joining Geo on Question Time, which will be on Tuesday. So that will be worth tuning into if you want to ask Tim questions directly. I also believe that John's been on a podcast as well with Geo and a couple of the team. So again, two features to tune into in the coming days if you're interested more in what what Hoffmann UK can offer. One point I wanted to pick up on here, Tim, was something called virtual consulting. Now, this is very apt really with what's happening currently in the manufacturing environment. Can you explain how advantageous this can be to people and what the product is?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned a few minutes ago, our whole value proposition is around that consulting and finding solutions for our customers and clients. With the demands that and the restrictions that we find ourselves in currently, and we all need to work to the guidance that the government are providing us, we've tried to find ways of how we can effectively still deliver that service, because there are many parts of the industry that are working exceptionally hard in supporting the fight against COVID, whether that be in maintaining food supplies, whether it be in shifting production to ventilators, etc. How do we provide that service? So, we're using, technology such as this to provide what we're calling virtual consultation. So using Teams, Skype, FaceTime, WhatsApp to get up and close to jobs. Our team of specialists can still be available. It's a free service to help our customers and potential customers find solutions to problems they still have in, service, manufacturing, making products, shifting production. We're available for that through this.
And how do people tune in to this, Tim? And is it in practice at the moment? Is it having some good results?
Yeah, I mean, in truth, it's something that we want to get the message out there that it's available. With our current customer base, we're using that, but maybe there's many potential or customers that don't deal with us so often that don't realise this is available. So it's just through your normal contacts. If you're not somebody that currently is aware of Hoffmann, you can see the main number, get in contact with us, and we can arrange it, virtually. Pardon the pun, immediately.
Okay, no, it sounds very interesting. I think a point to actually sound that, Tim, is and as I alluded to earlier, Tim will be joining Geo on Question Time next Tuesday, so you can probably find out more detail about that then. Tim, before we go, what does the future hold, do you think, for UK manufacturing in the coming weeks and months?
Well, I think it's going to be tough for a few weeks yet, and I think without getting too much off subject, I think if we all comply with the guidance, we'll get through this quicker. But clearly, for those businesses that still have to operate, that's in adjusted circumstances which are not easy. However, I genuinely believe that we will come through this reasonably quickly. I think, as we were talking about earlier, I've a number of contacts, in different countries, and particularly in China, where all this originally came to light. They're virtually back to normal, in fact, steaming ahead. And they say 8 to 9 weeks. So, maybe it's another couple of months of this, and then we can start seeing how we can get back to where we are. But I think it's important, that we all stay together and support each other through this, that's individually, but also in business. And it is temporary. We will come through it, but clearly we have to work together through these tough times.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for joining us today, Tim, and look forward to hearing you on Question Time on Tuesday. Thank you very much, Tim. So there you have it, Hoffmann UK. If you've never explored their offering, they are, as I said in this programme, a world-leading supplier of anything and everything that can be used within a machine shop environment. If you're looking to improve efficiencies and productivity and generally how your machine shop operates, then they're definitely a company you should be talking to. There is also a podcast available. Gio has spoken to John Woskett a lot about the products that they supply, but of course, as we've spoken about here, the services from Hoffmann UK. Tune in to Question Time as well on Tuesday to hear more from Tim. And that's it from me today.